Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. And a happy and a healthy and a wonderful new year to all of you. I'm Debra Eckerling, creator of the Deb Method for Goal Setting Simplified. And I'm also the author of your Goal Guide and 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting. And for this New Year celebration, we're actually kicking off 52 Secrets, which will be out in on January 28th. And for this book, I basically put GoalChat in a book. I interviewed 60 awesome people in the areas of business and tech and food and entertainment and all sorts of other amazing fields, asking what is their secret for goal setting and goal getting. So the next couple months of Goal Chats, I get to feature these wonderful people in the book, starting with, including, not limited to today's guest, Stacia Crawford, Keith Spiro, and Jennifer Watson. As I always say, you can't reach your goals on your own, you need your people. So every week I bring together some of my people to chime in on the topic. And for the New Year's shows, especially, I love bringing together people who don't know each other, because isn't that really what a party is? Bringing together guests.
100%, yes.
And seeing what happens. So before we dive in, you might be watching this as GoalChat live. You may be watching the replay or listening to us as GoalChat on the Marketing Podcast Network. But no matter how you found us, we are so glad you're here. Just celebrate the new year with all of us. Friends, please tell everybody about you. And let's start with you, Stacia.
Hi, everybody. I am Stacia Crawford. I am a two-time Emmy Award-winning TV producer and PR and media strategist. What do I do in life? I help people become household names. So I help my clients get booked on television, podcasts, and in magazines so they can share their stories, elevate their authority, and become the go-to person and household name in their industry.
And we will get into this a little bit, but how did you become you?
Wow, I just became me. Oh boy, how did I become me? Well, as a TV producer, I actually became me when I went to college and realized that science, although I went to college on a math and science scholarship, science was not my thing. I've realized that I love to write. I really tapped into my creative self. And around that time, Oprah was she had just gotten her national talk show, and she's actually from Baltimore, which is where I'm from. And so she became a huge role model for me. And so I kind of fell into television and just became obsessed with TV news, and spent 30 years as a television journalist. I was a TV news producer working in some of the top markets in the country, from Chicago and Philadelphia and New Haven, Connecticut, and Baltimore. And I think that just really tapping into my creative side and recognizing that I wanted to really help people make an impact. When I walked away from my television producing job 2 years ago, decided that, I wanted to go all in on this PR and media thing. And I've just been growing and glowing ever since.
Amazing. And I know that your secret in the book is communications, in the communication section. So no surprise there. Really thrilled to have you here and as part of this project. And from one communicator to another, Keith Spiro, welcome back to GoalChat.
Thank you. Happy to be here today with you. And I'm Keith Spiro, business strategist, community builder. And listening to Stacia talk about the very outward part, I came from the sciences and I had to hide the creative side. I got into trouble way too many times in a corporate career for being creative. And so it wasn't until I got beyond that I actually got to blossom and start doing the things that I really wanted to be doing, which was helping people succeed. So similarly, how do you communicate? What do you do? But my end of it came from helping people be seen, be heard, be found, with me moving more into the background.
Ooh. And so we go from behind the scenes to in the front to behind to storm chaser.
There you go.
Jennifer Watson. And I'm realizing, so you all actually have a sciencey tech background and are also in creative fields, which is kind of amazing.
It is. And I love that we have 3 Emmys because I'm an Emmy award-winning meteorologist. So I co-produced 30-minute severe weather safety video. This was when I was in local TV before I went to the Weather Channel. So yeah, so I have an Emmy from that. And I'm on 2 of the Weather Channel's TV shows, Weird Earth, Weather Gone Viral. I freelance for them. I'm not there full time because I have an adorable little daughter that I take care of, but I also do social media and I speak at social media events. I'm an MC at numerous events, the National Storm Chaser Summit coming up in February, which I'm really excited for, and so many more. So I'm a motivational speaker. I love weather. I storm chase. I do all the things, and I have a lot of fun projects in the works too. So yeah.
Hey.
And did you always love weather?
I have. I just never thought of it as a career until I went to college. So I got my undergraduate degree in geography with a minor in math, almost double majored in math. I actually like 5 classes away. I love math and numbers and science in general. And then I got my master's degree. So yeah, I love it all. I love learning.
And isn't it great that we live in this awesome world where you get to be whoever you want and do whatever, because we've got this technology, everything is at our fingertips. And the way we connect with people, the way we communicate, it really is like as much as or as easy as reaching out to either someone you've met once or someone you want to meet and say, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's build each other up and help us make our lives better and the lives better of those around us.
100%. I love that so much. That's why I feel like you light someone else's candle, you're not going to dim your own. You're only going to collectively rise as a group, which is, I think, is so critical for success. Having a mastermind, being a part of it, having a supportive group of like-minded people, individuals that are entrepreneurs, that are doing similar things that you are, may know different things so that you can help each other out and rise up collectively. So yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And I mentioned before, so Stacia is in the communications section of the book, you're in well-being, and Keith is in teamwork. So all of the pieces, all of those pieces really go together well, because we not only talk about professional goals, we talk about the personal aspirations and how they feed off each other. And what you were just saying, it's teamwork, whether you're part of a traditional team or just uplifting those around you. That truly makes a difference. And as we go into the new year, and I feel like each year gets weirder and weirder, as who we are as voices, it is almost our, I want to say responsibility, but really it's like our pleasure, right? To spread the word and make people's lives better, or give them at least inspiration. Say, okay, I'm doing this. If I can do it, you can do it too. So I loved it when I'm having these New Year's conversation, it starts with the wins. So I would love to know from each of you, what was your biggest win of 2024? Because I find those wins elevate us and really drive us to succeed even more in the new year. So Jennifer, let's start with you on this. What was your biggest win of 2024?
That is a great question. 2024 has been an amazing year for me, and a lot of fun too. When Twisters came out, well, not the sequel to Twister, but very, very similar, not technically the sequel. I got to see Helen Hunt. I went to the premiere in New York City where they had the actors. They had a live Q&A, which was super cool. And I got to be on Inside Edition with my twin sister. So I'm wearing my Twister Twins sweatshirt right now. And so we storm chased together, and we got to be interviewed about, the movie, what we thought about it, which was super neat and cool. And going storm chasing with the podcast that I co-host as well. There's been so many amazing things, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. But probably that, because I'm a big weather geek and we had all been anticipating that film. And then also being the MC of the National Storm Chaser Summit too was really amazing. So yeah.
So twisting, turning, and storm chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Or twistersing. Yes, that. And the fact that you love storms and the storms are negative, but you see it as a positive, I kind of think that's kind of awesome and probably unintended, right?
Well, I don't see storms as a positive. I'm just fascinated by it, right? How the atmosphere works. And we still don't understand why some supercells produce tornadoes and some don't. And there's a lot of research going on with topography and different other things within the atmosphere. So, from me, from a scientific perspective, I never want a town or a tornado to, hit, a person, place, or thing, injure them. I never want that to happen. But I like following the science behind it. Why does it happen? The weather patterns, the significance of it, so we can better forecast. So what I'm really amazed about is our entire atmosphere, how it's changing, and how we can mitigate the human impact from that. So, yeah.
So cool. Love it. Keith, what about you? What was your biggest win of last year?
Biggest win for me, I guess, is the transition from the sciences to the arts.
Yeah.
And when you talk about supporting others, and it's no surprise that all of us have a science background. Science comes with answers or the search for them. So nobody should be left behind.
Yeah.
And from the projects that I've done, several different ones, it really came down to, with all the noise that's out there, how do you filter it out and focus and concentrate? And for me, it was doubling down in the arts, working with a virtual newspaper, creating an arts and culture section.
Cool.
And that followed on the heels of 2023 getting the New Hampshire Press Association Award. So we all have awards here for best use in the arts themselves. And it was really bringing in performing arts, visual arts, music science. People shut their phones off for a period of time. So there's this ability to focus and concentrate. And by bringing the arts back to the tech world, it's that moment of peaceful self-thought. So that was the big win there, it was a complete change that I'm still finishing the transitions.
Keith, you can tell that you're glowing. I just have to say, when you were talking about it, you can tell how happy it makes you. Like, that's so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
That is pretty extraordinary. I do have to clarify, I do not have a science background. But I do have an IPPY award for my book and an LA Press Club award for my podcast. So I'll throw that in. Hopefully I've always been left brain and right brain. So my background's project management and communication. So not the sciencey part, but I totally respect it and geek out over processes. So I can put like one foot into what you all are doing.
I love it.
Amazing. Stacia, what was your biggest win of last year?
Those are really tough to follow. I would have to say one of my biggest wins was definitely being featured in your book. I've never been in a book before. I'm so I'm always behind the scenes. I'm the star maker. So it's like, I'm actually going to be in a book, y'all. I'm excited.
That's a big deal.
I love that I'm your win. That's amazing.
It is a big deal. I'm so used to, getting publicity and, visibility for everybody else. So it's like, now for me to actually have a platform to be able to share some of my wisdom and my knowledge, that's a huge win for me. So I'm excited.
You should be. That's awesome. Yay. And
okay, do you have another non-Deb specific one?
Okay, non-Deb specific. I will have to say, my biggest win is probably growing my business. I've had the highest revenue that in the whole 10 years that I've had my business. And that really is a big deal for me because ever since 2020, we've been hearing everybody's horror stories, right? It's like 2020 was crap. 2021 was basically a repeat, right? 2022. And now everybody's talking about they want to throw 24 away. It's like, 24, oh my gosh, let's throw it away. And I'm like, I had to look. I've been very intentional about my goals. right? And hitting them. And, you know, when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, it didn't feel like it. But when I actually went back and looked at the numbers, I was like, holy crap, this has been my biggest revenue year to date. And so I'm really excited about that. And that's really been huge for me too, because it's only been 2 years since I left my job as a TV news producer. So that was a huge win for me, actually seeing, you know, when I saw those numbers on the page, I was like, wait, I did that? I was like, yeah, I did that. So that
That's
was a huge
awesome.
I think that's why it's so important to celebrate all of the little wins, not just the big wins, because that's what happens. It's the end of the year and you had no idea you had such a good year.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I
so
think it's
that
important to say I did that, because the fact that Stacia says that, it brings it to the forefront. We do work hard. We're totally focused on our people, our goals, and to take that moment in time and kind of look and see, yes, I did that, is one of the nicest things you can say for yourself.
This is true. This is very true. You have to pat yourself on the back every single day. I feel like that's very important to keep going. So, yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And my big win, obviously, is the new book that's coming. So it gets to be my win for last year and for next year, right? The whole process of putting it together. And the fact that I interviewed 60 people, all people that I knew or were introductions from friends, and most of whom I never met in real life. I mean, Jennifer is the exception. We've met at a social media marketing world like ages ago. But Keith and I met through virtual gatherings that started at the beginning of 2020. And Stacia and I met because she spoke at an event I attended. And I said, hey, girl, I like your energy. Let's be friends. I mean, that's how we do it in this world. And going through like claiming your next step, well, it's the purpose of the book, you know, to help people. It's a menu of inspiration and actionable tips to help you pinpoint what you need help on, and you hear from voices who've been through it, who can uplift you. So being able to pull people together and share that is not only a win, but a blessing to be able to do that. Oh, the thing that I love about all of your wins, it's almost like it was this year of transition. But we're in this constant state since I think 2020 of transition. We are never the same person. We weren't the same person every day, every week, every month before then, but now it just feels really pronounced because everybody is constantly reinventing or looking at the next thing or what's going on. Was there something, an aha that led you to the wins of last year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think, well, I don't know. I guess I can go first, but I think for me, I've discovered, which I'd already been doing some, but the power of visualization and manifesting. And as a former gymnast, and we've talked about this, Debra, where I would go through my routines in my head, like literally go through every single element, sticking every single element, landing it, and then that feeling of accomplishment that I did it like perfectly the way I wanted to. And so I do that every single day, but I also have started really writing down my goals and things that I want, but in present tense. And I've seen things manifest like faster than I've ever had before. And it's like so powerful. And your mind is so powerful. It can be your, your biggest star or your greatest enemy, right? And you want to use it for good because perception is reality, right? And so even if something maybe not so great comes along, I figure out, okay, where can I take my next best step from here? And I try to find the silver lining, what I can learn from it, and then just go up from here, asking the universe, what's the best thing that can happen from this point? I've been looking at a lot of different things, and it's just the research and everything. It's just amazing. So no matter what, always have a positive mindset. And, I've always had one, but now more than ever, just have that focus on your goals, only focus on what you're trying to accomplish, and don't get deterred by anything else. Like, look at your phone first thing in the morning. Don't do that. Don't look at the emails. Get up and start doing, plan it out the night before and get to action. Like, get up on your feet, don't hit snooze, and do it. Because if you don't take action, wishing for it and everything isn't going to get you there. You actually have to take that action, and the universe is going to open those doors for you and find your path. But you have to be true to who you are and what you really want. And once you know what your passion is, just go for it, and the path will show itself and the money will come. So just like Stacia is doing, like, just like literally right above me, like, seriously,
That
that's
was a mic drop moment, Jennifer. Mic drop. Yes, that was so good.
but seriously though, both of you guys, everyone, you know, we're all doing it, and it's wonderful. And when you're around that positive energy, it's contagious, you know. And so your book, Debra, I'm so excited for, because I feel like, you know, we all know, like, from your books, the goals and everything like that, how to make that happen. But then reading the stories of people who have been there, that's going to help with the motivation to keep them going, right? Because I mean, not all good days are the best days, but there are good moments in every day. So yeah.
It's the examples that help. And I'll jump right on what Jennifer's saying, because I came from the other end of this. It was the noise. You asked about the aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Too much time in social media, too many responding to everything as opposed to what I should have been responding to. And so in that noise, trying to figure out, as Jennifer said, the mind can be good and really propel you, or it can take you into those dark rabbit holes and you go, where did those 2 hours just go? I'm behind on what I needed to do. And for me, it was the F word that got me into trouble. Flexible. With all the noise that's going on, flexible up to a point works. And this transition that I'm completing comes from that refocusing on, where are my goals? What am I trying to do with it? So where Debra's first book was wonderful to, you know, plan it, do it, execute.
Yes.
Now comes the next step of always show your products. But the next step coming out of the sales and marketing end is, so how do you help yourself and other people be successful? You have to be nimble when there's a lot of noise, and you have to pick your way out. And so there are good examples of how you align, how you figure out what's important. And this way you don't get lost in the noise and find out that, yeah, where did those 2 hours go? What did I accomplish? So that's been a big aha for me in helping to focus it down on what's important.
I love that.
And I mentioned earlier that Jennifer's tip, which she actually teased at the beginning of what she just said, but you'll have to read the book to learn more. But it could have been in focus. It could have been in action. It could have been in a lot of different categories, which is what I found with a lot of the secrets that I gathered. But well-being is where it ended up, because it's so important to keep that mindset clear. Knowing what you want is one thing, but living it, breathing it just helps you it brings what you need towards you, and it helps you get where you need to go that much quicker.
Yes. 100%. Couldn't agree more.
So Stacia, what aha led you to having this great year that you didn't realize you were having until the end of it?
I think one of my biggest aha was really being intentional and being very clear about the people that I surrounded myself with. That was a game changer for me. I'm an extrovert. I'm a very people-oriented person. You know, I like to have fun. You know, I have lots of friends and family, and I love all of that. But what I noticed was that when it comes to business, I have to align myself with a certain type of person. And I think part of that also goes back to what Jennifer was saying about, you know, the manifestation, because, you know, when you talk like that, sometimes people will be like, oh my God, that's a bunch of crap. Like, what are you talking about? You know, that's so woo-woo and it's like, no, it really isn't. So for me, being intentional about surrounding myself with like-minded people, right? People who can, you know, cheer me on, but also have the same level of belief, because there are some days when, I want to quit. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't worth it. This is too hard. Let me go back and go get a job. This entrepreneurship thing, right? Because
It's hard.
there, right? It is. And sometimes, when you're kind of like down in the dumps, you need people around you who can say, keep going. You need people around you who can show you the evidence of what you've created that give you that motivation to keep going. And that was a real big aha for me. And so I literally had to clear some people out of my circle to make room for those types of people. And it was, it was a lifesaver and a game changer for me.
What's really funny that you don't know is that's what Keith's tip was in the book, is about finding alignment.
We're all like-minded, the same. I love it. Yeah.
Well, and it always amazes me because I put panels together and it's the new year, and it's, well, it could have been a secret, but not anymore, is that today's panel kept changing. And the fact that we ended up with you three people with all these similarities that even though I know you all did not realize in putting you together, I mean, that's the magic of what I get to do in bringing different people together.
I love it. It's the universe working. It was meant to be. And I told you on Friday, I'm like, Debra, because the holidays, it was so busy. I'm like, I could do it.
But I grabbed you.
Yeah. And even with that, I truly believe, even with all the changes, last minute switch out and all that, this is the panel we were supposed to have.
Yeah.
Without question. And so for the last 5 years, Keith has been on my Start the New Year Now December panel. And I said to him, how would you like to also do traditional New Year? What for you, Keith? I mean, I know you get a head start into the new year. Are you looking at the next 11 or 12 months differently now than you were doing a month ago when we had a similar but very different conversation?
Yes. I think if I go back and compare this to last month's call, the advantage of having 13 months in the year is I had a 4-week head start. And when I go back, alignment is still a key part. But we talked at the very, very beginning, Stacia, I think we may not have even been live yet, talking about goals, right? It's the beginning of a new year and people have all of these resolutions and, they fail quickly because the resolution, you blow past it and it's all gone. And I've always been guided by 3 words. Those words keep shifting in these last 4 weeks. And January 1st is when I typically launch what those 3 words to guide me for the year are. But in the 4 weeks that I've had, I think that nimbleness that you're using to pull us together, it wouldn't have mattered who you brought in for the group, because we all tend to be those cheerleaders helping others doing those things. But I think the alignment that took place happened because each one of us is nimble and flexible. And when you made those last minute calls as things were falling apart, oh, okay, I'll just shift this. Learning to say yes is a very powerful, uplifting tool.
This is true.
And I have to give an extra shout out to Stacia, because I had Stacia booked, and then Jen's like, I can definitely do Monday. And I said, Stacia, I need to put you in February or later in January. And you said it was fine. And then I said, I have to move you again. And you said it was fine. And then I said, guess what? Come on the New Year's show. So even though, so we flipped you like 3 times to get you here today.
I was like dancing all over the place, but I come from television news, right? If it's one thing I know is things are going to change. And so
breaking news, it's happening.
Yes. Oh my God. We're so going to geek out about that because Stacia, we both know, like, I've had the commercial server go down, like you roll with the punch, and that's what makes this very versatile. We have to roll with it. The 5 o'clock show is starting, like, no matter what at 5, we can't push it back. Like,
whether you're ready or not at 4:59:56, right?
Oh my God, it's so great.
At the time, it's like ingrained in my memory. 4:59:56, we're live on the air, whether you're ready or not.
And I bet Stacia, I have to say this really quick. my perception of time is so different from everyone else because like if I have 30 seconds, I'm like, what can I do in 30 seconds? That's like a decade in TV time, right? We've
Yes.
got before we go live, or even like 2 minutes, you're like, oh, we have like all the time in the world. But everyone's like, I can't do anything in 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, hell yes, you can. Like I've
You can,
switched graphics. I've done all the things, you know? Like it's a ton of time. So I bet you're very productive, like with
Yeah.
with your time that you have.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I love that.
And I don't want to lose sight of the fact that when you talk about the new year and it launches, ready or not, it's here.
It's
Yeah.
here.
And
Yes.
therefore, that nimbleness that each of you are showing is so, so critical.
No, it's true. I agree with that, Keith.
Yeah.
100%.
So, Keith, do you have your 3 words?
I have one word that I'll admit to, which is a line, which corresponds to what the tip is in the book. And I'll tell you, I'm going to throw out the one that's least connected to it, but most important, which is gratitude.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Because with everything else, I need something to keep reminding me that no matter what we hear going on around us, the noise factor is huge. And thanking the people who drag you out in the last minute, or you help in the last minute, or that pivot that you weren't planning. So I have a clock sitting right in front of me, in front of the screen, watching the sweep pan. You know, we all do that because we know how critical time is and how valuable it can be.
That's right. And we don't
So-
get it back.
The third one, you'll have to wait until 12:01 a.m. on January 1st,
Ooh,
where it will be live. It will say my
That's
3
a
words.
tease, right?
2025.
I like it. I like it.
So, might it be flexibility? Might it be nimbleness?
Neither of those words.
Okay. What about you, Stacia? Do you assign yourself 1 or 2 or 3 words for the year?
I do. I usually do one word. And usually it's something that it just comes to me and it just sticks. And I'm just like, that's the word. This year, I've actually had 3 words. And so, I feel like Keith has given me permission to do all 3. But it's funny because the one word that you said was align. And so one of my words was alignment. My other word was trust.
Love, that's a good one.
Very good word.
Yes, and it's like, it's all about, trusting God, trust the universe, trusting myself, trusting this process that we're going through. And then my third word was elevate.
Love it.
Yeah. And so I was thinking,
Powerful.
which one? But I'm like, I'm embracing all 3 this year. Yeah. So alignment, elevate, and trust.
I love that. Yay.
Look
Okay,
at how
Jen.
fast she got that done. Wow.
I know. I love it. Oh my gosh. So gratitude. I love gratitude. That's one of mine. Because being grateful is just such a wonderful thing. Also joy, because I feel like as human beings, we're meant to be in a state of joy. And so no matter what, I make sure I have time to connect with nature and find time just for me and what brings me joy. And most of the time it's with my daughter. I got to spend some good quality time with her every single day because I know she's aging so fast and I don't like it in the precious moments. They just, you have to enjoy them. You have to be present. And present is a good word too. Being present in the moment is another one. But I have 2 words for my third word, and that is aggressive action. So not just action, but aggressive action. Just things are changing in our industry, especially with AI. I have a lot of entrepreneurial friends that are starting businesses, and you have to adapt to what's going on around you, right? And no matter what your role is, what you're doing, where you work, you got to learn AI and how that can work into your role, how it's going to impact you, because it's very interesting for those of us that, are in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and we've gone to college, we've gotten jobs, and then all of a sudden it's just like AI is here. And that's going to take some jobs away. And what are people supposed to do? You have to be able to pivot quickly and start using AI and make yourself irreplaceable. And so I think aggressive action is mine, because there's also very big opportunities right now. You're going to get in early if you're starting an AI business. So if you have an idea, you want to do something, do it now and make it happen. So, yeah.
I love it.
That's a really, really good transition into the next question, because we've gone, these are our wins. This is what's led us there. These are our guiding words of the new year. So what do you all want to be celebrating this time a year from now? And think personal, but also professional, because as we know, your personal life's good. It's going to impact your professional life. Job's great. It's going to jobs, as the case is, I think, with all of us, multi-hyphenates. If that's good, then your personal life's going to be better. So what are you planning to celebrate the end of December 2025?
It's a great question.
Stacia, do you know?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I am prioritizing for 2025 is my health and wellness, because I know that, when my body is right, when my mind is right, then success in my business follows. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be celebrating, because I've been wanting to drop a few pounds.
You look great.
And then just getting more tone and getting more physically strong. I haven't had a gym membership since COVID. And I was like, I'm doing, I do work out, and I have 2 dogs. So I literally walk like over 3 miles every single day, whether I like it or not, regardless of get it in. But I want to be more intentional about that and really focusing, on these last few pounds that I want to get rid of. And I really want to focus also on my spiritual life. I'm a girl of faith, and I really want to develop an even closer relationship with God, because I know I've noticed, even for me, when I am focused on Him, He's focused on me, and giving me the desires of my life. And so my spiritual relationship with God is definitely a top priority. So I'm going to be celebrating that. That means being more active in my church, doing more charity work, and more volunteering in the community, because I think all of that is in line with my spirituality and my belief in helping others, and performing selfless acts. So those are definitely 2 things. And spending more family time. My kids are grown, they're in their 20s. And so, Jennifer was talking about how fast they grow up. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And they all have their own lives and their own jobs and, girlfriends and relationships. And so with that, we've kind of not really been spending as much family time together. So I want to make sure that we're making family time a priority, whether that is, movie night, game night, having family dinners, again, together, being able to make sure that I stay, connected to family here and far.
Well, you did answer the personal goal part. So we will circle back on the professional goals. But in the meantime, Keith, what personal goal are you going to be celebrating this time next year?
Well, I think the personal goal is inside the category of gratitude. It really is a key factor in recognizing the people who have gotten me to where I am, the people I'm helping along the way, and taking the time to reflect it back to the people who elevate you and make those things happen.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Reflections of gratitude. I like it. Jen?
I would say very similar to what Keith and Stacia have said, is more family time. I've just kind of shifted. It's interesting when you reach that moment. Like, my daughter is 7, and when I look at her, I still see a toddler in some ways, but then I also I see a 9-10-year-old in her too. And I know my time is limited. Like right now, I'm still her best friend. She still is like, mommy, let's do all the things. And so I know that's going to change, especially when she goes to middle school. So really soaking that in. And I try to make a good point of doing that now, but finding ways where I used to be in a mindset of like, I have to be on all the stages. I have to do all the things. Like, that's what matters. And yes, my career is important. And I actually have some very exciting professional things going on. But I also want to be saying no to some things, which I'm actually okay about for like the first time, because she's going to grow up fast and I'm not going to get that time back. I can always go back to a career or do something else, but I want to be with her more than ever. So focusing on Zara, my daughter, is probably the number one. So yeah.
And I love no, it's just such a magic word.
Yes.
Because when you say no to something, you're saying yes to yourself in so many other ways.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And you know what? I realized, and I've seen from other people, like when they've put their career over everything else, they may be successful, have the money, but they're not really happy. It's, I don't know. Like, I'm just so content with myself and not comparing myself to other successes, because comparison is a thief of joy. So, I am just happy with where I am and what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell that you all are in like this great space, which is really where you want to be going into the new year, taking the inventory, celebrating the joys, and say, okay, what do I need to do to make next year even better for me and the people around? Now, you've got all this exciting stuff done. Is there a goal professionally that you can share for next year?
Did you say me, Deborah? Okay. Yes. I can't quite share it, but there's something in the works that is really cool. I've always wanted to do, and it's going to take probably 7 months to happen. And then once it happens and things like next fall, I can let you know what's going on, but I can't let you know right now. So I'm excited.
Okay, so we could say next year you're going to be celebrating the success of the secret thing you can't talk about.
Yes. And fingers crossed it's successful. So, and wins awards. So that's what we're hoping for.
I cannot wait to hear more. But and if you want a vague goal, if you're listening or on this panel, you could just be, I want to celebrate the thing.
Yeah.
Because a year, it was about a year ago that I started talking with my publisher about the book that became 52 Secrets. And what I like to do with my goals for the year, I think in terms of initiatives, because I don't always know exactly what they're going to be, but I like putting things out in the world that inspire and help and whatever. So a year ago, maybe it was in the corner of my mind that because I've been ready to write another book for a few years, but being able to celebrate something now that was a glimmer a year ago is amazing. So I wish you so much success on it. And I can't wait till we can actually learn what it is.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so Stacia, did I give you enough time to think about what your professional win is going to be a year from now?
Yes. So my professional win is going to be that I'm going to be a household name. I'm so used again to, I'm everybody else's hype woman. I'm everybody else's publicist, but I realize that I'm going to be my own best client. So I know that, I've been getting opportunities and I have to take some of them. It's like, yeah, you need to do for yourself what you do for other people. So yeah, I'm going to be celebrating that this time next year because I'm going to now stop being the hidden gem and stop being the best kept secret and, really start flaunting the magic that I create in the world.
Woo! I
love that
I'm
for
so
you.
excited. I will wear a shirt with your face on it. I will do it.
Okay, you remember that because I'm gonna get.
I will. You send it to me and I will take photos and videos. Yes.
I love
You
it.
know, I have a feeling we're going to have to do like we do for the December panel, which is to have this panel again
Yes.
to ring
think we
in
are. I think we are.
2026.
You're going to want to do that.
Yeah.
we will go book that. We will book that as soon as today's up is over.
Yes.
And we'll all be sitting here with shirts with my face on it.
Yes. 100% yes. Mhm. It's gonna happen. Holding your book, Debra.
Oh, of course. Well, and so into my goal is 52 Secrets for me is the launch of a series. So my goal is to make 52 Secrets the next chicken soup because there's so many different areas and categories we could go into it. So be sure to share your secret because you could end up in a future edition of 52 Secrets.
That's so wonderful.
So,
Yay.
Keith, I did not forget about you. How could I? What are we going to be celebrating for you this time next year?
So it follows through on the alignment piece and the professional finish of this transition. I've been many different things in business. I have two running right now. One is Keith Spiro Media, one is Keith Spiro Photography. And this time next year or sooner, what I'm looking for, the way you'll know that I've achieved the professional alignment, is the website changes. The old website goes, because it goes to AI, and it goes to exactly what Stacia is just talking about. The internet scrapes everything, and if you haven't done one of those LinkedIn, you can see the profile. It scrapes you and tells you what you are, your key points. I saw a couple of other people doing it. I'm not revealing mine today. But I looked at it, and it truly is another step along that transition of professional finish. So having your face on what you're doing, being found for the reasons that you want, not what was scraped arbitrarily, to see if it reinforces. We'll have the new website, and yes, having your picture on your face is
we need
absolutely
one
the way.
too. Yeah.
It's an alignment. It's getting all of the pieces that you do together so that it works for you and it works for others.
I love it. The red thread.
Okay, so for my clarity, Keith, this
Website.
transition is going to be you in the land of art.
It's going to be, no, I am much more than just art, than just geology, than just business, than just photography. I've won awards in all of those areas. What I'm talking about is how I would be found online.
I
And
love
for
it.
what purposes.
Ooh, okay. So so everybody basically here is claiming themselves. That's the win for next year.
Yeah.
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 Ooh, talk
Like it.
about alignment.
I know.
Couldn't plan this in advance if you tried.
I know. Very
And all
true,
three of us
Debra.
can testify that no one knew until an hour ago who would be
But
here.
This is true.
And so this leads to the next question, which is what are some of the strategies you all are going to put in place to make this your reality a year from now? What secrets will you put into play? I have to use that.
I love you,
It's
Debra.
amazing how much I use the word secret when I'm writing now. And I'm like, no, I have to use that word less. I'm over secreting, but you know how it is. It's like the car syndrome. When you get like a blue car, all you see are blue cars. All I see are secrets.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
and I'll just take a moment to thank the people who are watching us live. We've got Pamela
See?
Barraway, Ibham, Estella's watching us live, and Natasha. Natasha, welcome, who, by the way, I love that last name. Thank you for tuning in. And whether you're watching live or the replay, please share in the comments your wins for the year and what wins you want to be celebrating a year from now. And you can also join my community. I've got one for 52 Secrets book, but the current very active one is Right On Online, where you can share your goals and your wins and develop community in the process. Okay, Keith, what actions will you put in place to make this win your reality a year from now?
it's following the 3 words that I choose to guide for the year. It has been very successful for me, and full credit to Chris Brogan, who started me on this a long time ago with my 3 words. I've been doing it for about 10 years, and it makes a huge difference. I write it down every day. It's sitting on the screen in front of me, and it makes, when you fall off the turnip cart, as we all do at some point, or it takes a wild turn, you go left, it goes right. So my actions are to stay aligned with the things that are important to me. The goals that I have are more how I conduct business, how I conduct my personal life, and less about what's achieved. As we talked at the very beginning, the achievements happen because you stay focused on your goals. And your 52 steps, I think, is the next progression for people like us, as you've brought us all along, because we're at a point now you don't read the book from start to finish. We don't know what's happening tomorrow. You turn to the chapter in the page that says, hey, I've got a problem here that I didn't have before. What do I do for emotional safety? What do I do for content? So I congratulate you, Debra, for picking up that pathway for leading the rest of us.
Thank you. Yes, it's a choose your own adventure that you can have control over, right?
Right.
Amazing. Thank you. And the other thing, you're talking about the 3 words. I'm a big mission and motto girl. The D in the Deb method stands for determine your mission. So when you know who you are and what you're about, that's another compass you can use as you move forward in reaching those goals. And the theme of the year, I think, is very helpful for a lot of people in terms of the specific focus within the overarching goal of who they are and what they want to release into the world. So thank you for that. Stacia, what will you put in place so we are wearing your face on t-shirts this time next year?
Woohoo! I think my biggest action really is reminding myself on a daily basis who the heck I am.
Oh, yeah.
So much time, really shrinking, for fear of, you don't want to steal the limelight, or you don't want to flaunt, or you don't want to appear braggadocious. And I think that what that has done for me is, I've shrunken to the point where I've forgotten who I am. And so I have to really lean into the fact that, yes, I am brilliant. I'm good at what I do. I get amazing results for my clients. And I think by me doing that and really shining a light on who I am and my being clear about my identity in this world and my purpose in this world, that's the best gift that I could give myself. So that action is going to be reminding myself on a daily basis, whether it's mantras, affirmations, just reminding myself of the results that I get from my clients every single day.
Stacia, you should have like a folder. It's like a joy folder where, like, anytime someone says something nice about you or gives you a compliment, you screenshot it and put it in that folder. So on those days when you're I don't know, you get bad news or you're down in the dump, you reread them and you're just like, that's right. I'm a badass. What was I thinking?
I love, because it does. It kind of lights me up. Like even today, I got a beautiful text message from a former client, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I did do that. Yeah, and it's like, I like the joy folder. Yes, that's it. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. Oh my God, badass Stacia.
It's a great idea. You need a place. It gets buried under the noise of the moment.
Yeah.
To be able to reach for those words. I think of the emails I've gotten. I couldn't find it if I tried right now.
Yeah, exactly.
6,000 in the inbox. Haven't been dumped. Where do you put it? But that's nice to have a help me folder.
Yeah.
Or a win list. Yeah, I like to do a win list.
Yeah.
Which what I'll do when I do it is, at the beginning of the month, I will just set a calendar appointment at like a certain time every day, wins for whatever month. And then the reminder will go on. I put the win for the day, and then I move the calendar appointment to the next day. So that is like the simplest.
I love
That's clever. I like that too.
Yeah.
way to do your win list. And that way, as you're going through the process of getting to those wins, you've got those little endorphin hits
Yeah.
of joy as you're getting there. And the other thing that you brought up before and brought up again that I'm going to underline and highlight is you have to treat yourself like your client, and I always say this too. I do all the things I say in terms of goal setting and figuring out your mission and, all the Deb Methody stuff. When I pay attention to myself, I do much better than when I think I know better than me. So as experts in embracing our own methodology, whenever I start, even with 52 Secrets, it started with, okay, what is the purpose? How is this going to help people? So when you do that and you treat yourself like your most important client, you're going to get a lot further than if you're the cobbler whose kids have no shoes.
Yes. Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
So, Jen, what are you going to put in place? I mean, we know the positive visualization is a huge part of it. What else are you going to put into play so you're celebrating the secret thing a year from now?
So 2 different things. One is the Pomodoro method, which I do like. I want to utilize it more and really do time blocking, like chunks of time to really get everything done. And the second would be trusting the universe, because when you ask the universe for something, it's amazing on how it'll bring it to you, but sometimes it'll bring it to you in different ways, right? Like I wish for something and I ended up getting laid off and I was like, oh my gosh, but then that opened up the door to get my dream job. And so like it's really interesting that it's like, you got to take a step back from maybe a negative situation or that you perceive it as negative before you're like, wait a minute, this is a huge opportunity. And so allowing the universe to do what it needs to do and not resist it. I'm really good at resisting the universe. I'm like, no. And that's why it's like, well, now you're getting laid off because you're not taking the leap, So it's like really trusting yourself and also the universe and just believing that what's meant to be yours will be yours. So, yeah.
I love it. And a client going away in 2018 is what led me to create the Deb Method, which led to your goal guide, which, led to so many other things. So I can be an exact example of what you just described. The other thing that you were talking about, and I am a huge fan of time blocking. I usually say, you could do so many things in 15 minutes, but you and Stacia were talking about how even 2 minutes is powerful.
Yeah. I maximize everything. I like timing myself, but I also, there's a couple things that I'm going to have to really like deep dive into. And like, I can really get in the zone, especially after 30, 45 minutes, but then I need to be in that zone for an additional hour to really get like crank stuff out. So making sure I have that time blocked and no one really can have a meeting in that time. So I can guarantee I get my stuff done. So yeah.
That's huge.
And we all know how we work best.
Yeah.
But sometimes we this is an entire boundaries conversation too, knowing how you work best is one thing, but sticking to it is another thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you've got the saying no and the blocking time and the choosing yourself and trusting the universe and so many things.
Yeah.
Figure out the combo platter that's going to work for you. So you're going to be able to put in the work. You're going to be able to reach those goals because we all have at least a little bit of time each day or each week. Even if you use a fraction of that towards your goals, you're going to be in a much better position a year from now than you would be than if you said, what can I get done? You can get done a lot.
Yeah.
You just have to commit to yourself in this future that you want.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was also saying before, I only talk about goals at the beginning of the year because everybody else does. Because I talk about it all of the months. You know,
Yes.
every day, week, and month is an opportunity to claim yourself and the life you want and work towards it. What goal would you all like to gift the audience? So what is one thing that they could do today, tomorrow, to start the new year on the right foot?
Ooh, I like that.
Mm.
I guess for me, I would say you don't have to wait for the new year. You don't have to wait for the first day of the month. You don't have to do any of that. You can restart at any moment of any day, at any second of any day. So don't wait for like a set time, and don't put the pressure on you that you have to figure it out immediately. Just like, I don't like diets, but like I try to eat healthy, but some days I'm like, wow, man, I just had popcorn at the movie theater and just ate crap. And you know what? That's okay sometimes, but just staying on that track and just having that clear focus and being really understanding and clear on what you want to achieve, and what truly makes you happy. And then being able to use the Deb method to get there. But you first have to know what makes you happy. And maybe that requires you quitting your job, or, taking some extra classes somewhere, but just, being true to yourself, because life is so short. And if you really want to do something and you keep feeling that urge to do it, make it happen, find a way, and the doors will open for you. So, yeah.
I like that. And we were talking about that as well. I've got a New Year, New You book that comes out at the end of January, which is actually perfect for me, because it's a reminder you don't have to give up on your goals just because the calendar is a little different.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
And some of my favorite times a year of doing goal workshops are February and March, because I get the people after, they're like, okay, the original plan didn't work. Great. You know what didn't work.
Yep.
Now let's set some new goals and restart. So
I like what
awesome.
Pamela said too. I like that, Pamela. I see it. I see you. It was really good. She said, if you only think about goals at the new year, you are missing out on so many opportunities to grow your business or career. Couldn't agree more, Pamela.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Pam. Okay, Keith, what goal do you want to gift?
So I will gift the goal of blocking time for yourself. And I put it into my calendar as pick a particular day and a particular hour, book it in for the year. And that's sacrosanct for you to think about whatever it is that you need to about yourself. And I look at it as a ready, think about it, choose something, and then do something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is that you do the following week. You get a chance to go, oh, that wasn't the best choice. Something better comes out of it. But it goes back to that, right? There is no, if you have your, New Year's resolutions, you fall off in February, and Pam's comment and your comment all make so much sense, because every day is a new day to do and accomplish something. So as long as you've got forward motion, but it's the gift of that time where you don't look at somebody else's work, you don't look at the emails or the flow, you just kind of go, what do I want to accomplish now? And mine is a morning time. It's always early in the morning for me. That's my best time to concentrate.
Oh, me too.
Okay, kids, eyes on your own paper. Stop peeking at what other people are doing. Stacia, what goal are you gifting?
The goal that I'm gifting is really to pay attention to how you're spending your time. I know for me, I always look and I'm like, well, I don't really spend that much time on social media. When I actually started tracking it, it was shocking. I was like, oh, and there's that little app on your phone where it'll tell you how many hours you're on social media. And it's mind blowing some days. I'm like, really? When did I even have that many hours to spend on social media? But yeah, I do. And, and part of it is because I do use social media for my marketing as well. So I can show myself a little bit of grace. But some of it is just doom scrolling and mindlessly, scrolling through stuff. And I also realized that your results are going to come from the things that you do consistently, not just now and then. So whether your goal is, grow a business, lose weight, get more healthy, write a book, what are you doing consistently? Because that is where your results are going to stem from. So pay attention to it, track it even. I keep a little notebook where I actually track the things that I'm doing. And I'll notice sometimes, if it's exercise and I'm telling myself I'm going to exercise 45 minutes, 5 days a week. And I'm like, oh, wait, I only checked that off 3 days this week. My brain is going to tell me I'm doing great. But when I actually see what I really did, it gives me a chance to shift, right? To restart, like Keith was saying, right? You get a chance to restart. Yeah, you're going to fall off the turnip truck, but that doesn't mean I just throw that goal away. It just means that I regather myself. I see what's working, pay attention to what's not working, pivot and start again.
And you tell me, it said work out 5 days and you did 3. I say celebrate the 3.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Celebrate the heck out of the 3, right? Right. Celebrate those small wins. Like Jennifer was saying, earlier, we don't just have to celebrate when we've hit the goal. We have to celebrate all those milestones along the way. So if I did 3 this week and then, next week I do 4, that's a huge accomplishment. So absolutely celebrate that.
100%.
Amazing. Well, this party really flew by. Friends, where can people learn more about you and stay in touch with you over the next year? Stacia?
You can find me on Facebook for one. That's one of the great places where I am. You can find me, Stacia Crawford, on Facebook, or you can just go to my website, stayreadymedia.com.
Awesome. And Keith, for now, where can people find you?
You can find me by looking at keithspiro.com, and that avoids all of the other places. They all will feed to the same place eventually, but it's just my name. It's the same thing on Instagram or LinkedIn.
I love it.
Great. And Jennifer?
Yeah. So right now, jenniferweather.com is getting reworked at the moment, but it will be back up soon. We have Jennifer Weather on Instagram and TikTok at jwatson_WX on X, and then Jennifer Watson TV on Facebook. So, yeah.
Awesome. And I am at the Deb Method everywhere. And if you go to thedebmethod.com/blog, you can get the recap and read the goals from each conversation. And I am live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, which you can watch on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then keep an eye out for the blog. And you can subscribe to GoalChat, which is on the Marketing Podcast Network, on iTunes, or your favorite podcast platform. And and if you need help with your goals, grab a copy of your goal guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals. And you can also pre-order 52 secrets for goal setting and goal getting, how to stay focused, grow your network, and get more done in less time. It's so many great tips, and you can read it start to finish, but it's really designed for you to go to the section that you need the inspiration and the action on, and get the pep talk you need with some examples of how to make the life you want your reality, how to bust through those blocks and claim and create you, right?
I love it.
Wonderful conversation. What final thought do you want to leave everyone with today? Stacia, final thought?
The final thought is the new year's coming, whether you're ready or not, and it's not too late. I don't want people to think, oh my gosh, we've only got a couple days left. I haven't set any goals. Oh, well, I won't bother. It's not too late. And you don't have to have big goals. Even start with the small ones, but do it now.
I like it.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, Keith, what final thought do you have?
Focus on the positive. No matter what you hear, no matter what doesn't go the way you wanted, find the one gift that did work in it and just keep going.
Yes, because even amongst the yuck, there is gold.
That's right.
Yeah. Did you say goals or gold?
I said gold, but goals as well. Well, and it really, to focus on the positive, that's a really nice through line from today's conversation, because the roadblock might be a gift.
This is true. This
You
is very
don't-
true.
You don't
We
know.
all have to agree with you on that one. Absolutely.
100%.
Okay, Jen, final thought.
Mine would be to just believe in yourself. You are capable of anything. If you can dream it, you can do it. And I tell my daughter to dream big and then dream bigger. Like just the wildest dream, if you can think of it in your head, you can make it a reality. And I always tell my daughter, and this was really good advice from a friend, instead of asking your children what do they want to be when they grow up, ask them what do they want to be right now. And so I'm hoping that my daughter is going to be a published author in the next year or two. She's going to start like a store, YouTube channel, all the things, but I want to set her up for success now. You don't have to wait to be anything. You can be it now. So.
And that is really nice way to put a button on this conversation. Decide what is future you going to be celebrating. Claim yourself, figure out what you love. And you know what? You probably already know. So stop putting that project you've always wanted to do on the back burner. Think about, when you think about the life you want, this is really the way I start when I talk about the Deb method is visualization. When you think about the life you want, what does that look like? Great. You've got that picture. Now you've got something to work towards, and everything is within your grasp. So a happy and healthy new year to you. Thank you again, Stacia Crawford, Keith Spiro, and Jennifer Watson for joining me. Thank you for tuning in and sharing this New Year's celebration with me and my guests. Whatever you want for the next month, the next week, the next year, it is all in your control. So go on out there and go for it. Set those goals, reach for them, because we know you can do it.
Woohoo!